field trip is located in southern Palau at Peleliu Island. Peleliu is rich in World War II history and is a place we're very excited to explore. It's almost surreal as we are the only yacht here and there are virtually no tourists. Peleliu was one of the bloodiest battles for the U.S. Marines during World War II. One of the key locations we'll explore is Bloody Nose Ridge. It was one of the worst battles the U.S. Marines fought with the Japanese, led by the famous Marine Chesty Puller. Puller's Marines received 70% casualties in this area. The other locations we'll visit are the 1,000-man cave, where the Japanese hunkered down to fight the Americans, and the Japanese Command Center, located near the Japanese airstrip.
It is a beautiful morning here in Peleliu, which is the southern island in Palau. And we are excited today because we get to do what, E?
We get to go do a land tour about all the World War II stuff that happened here.
Yeah, so we're excited to go do that, and it'll be our second tour that we've taken, basically, in Palau. The other one was our own tour. We've hired a guy to take us out, and we are literally anchored in the spot, the little harbor on the south side of Peleliu, where it was part of the harbor during World War II. And so it's pretty desolate, as you can see out today. Not much going on here, but it is...
You see all these ruins. Just behind the boat, there's an amphibian, all covered with growth. And then all along the shore, there used to be docks or something, but they're all rusted out, and there's pine trees growing out of them. It's really cool.
Yeah, it's amazing. So we've got a good day of schedule ahead of us, and we're going to be getting out of here and checking out the World War II history for field trip. And we're off.
On shore, there's a sturdy floating dock. Since we'll be gone for the entire day, we want to make sure everything is secure. As everybody piles out, I tie a cleat hitch onto the cleat.
And the kids this morning have a little friend. Who's this, Michael?
Wednesday.
Our driver shows up, and we're off to explore the significant World War II historical sites of the island. Our first stop was Orange Beach Cemetery, the original cemetery where Americans who died here serving our nation were buried. In 1947, their bodies were exhumed and shipped back to the U.S., and to the U.S. Military Cemetery in Manila, Philippines. Orange Beach was the landing site for 2 Marine battalions of the 5th Marines. Now, the beach is peaceful and still, but we can't help but imagine the heroism and fear that the Marines must have felt as they embarked on this very beach. Our next stop is the Japanese Command Center, located near the airstrip. If you've seen the miniseries The Pacific on HBO, you may recognize some of these landmarks. Our guide walks us through the skeleton of the former building. Scars from the war are still visible, including bomb holes through the roof and walls peppered with bullet marks.
You can see these Quonset huts, a lot of American camping tent. Quonset huts, those are 4 built on that directions. Actually, that's where they maintain the Jeep. I see a lot of part of axles, engine plug all over the area.
Oh, like a garage.
And that's what's, like a garage. That's all areas still remain over there, or they totally rusted. And this area over here, the inside of this heavy metal door, that's where the radio's component system
Oh,
pretty
the
much
telegraph.
protect that. And some Japanese said the second floor are mostly the officials. I have to be hanging around that second floor. But from the roof of the top to the part of the second floor, sunk by the battleship, which is if we were fighting in this area.
So this is the Japanese, and behind this metal door is where the Japanese had like their control room where they had a radio and stuff so they could. It's just in there. That's really good. So this is where they had all the controls and everything.
It's still standing after all that shelling.
Yep. There's lots of wasp hives, all that stuff.
Michael is eager to go inside the Japanese bunker at the command center and explore. It's dark and very quiet as he enters. Knowing that men, scared for their lives, were hunkered down in here gives this place a spooky, somber feeling. We can almost hear the rumble of bombs, guns, and aircraft flying low overhead.
That's really cool. You going back there? No, no.
Two different shrines from the Japanese, two different religious groups, and one is Buddhist and one is Shinto or something, I'm not sure. But the one on the left was built about 10 years ago or 5 years ago, and the one on the right was built just a year or two ago. So they're both relatively new, and then of course the U.S. Marine Corps at the 50th anniversary has built their shrine of sorts over here in the corner, United States Marine Corps.
Our journey continues through the Bloody Nose Ridge area. We walk through the jungle, finding many artifacts still intact from the violence of this theater of war. There are caves still said to contain Japanese remains and are yet to be discovered and repatriated. Helmets with bullet holes scatter the forest floor, where the wearers most certainly met their death. We even find a human bone that likely belonged to a soldier. This hike is a somber reminder of just how violent men can be, and also how quickly nature conceals the past with new life. Still resting on its side after running over a landmine, this German tank offers a glimpse into the power of World War II artillery. The jungle has started to cover up the tank, ultimately protecting it from the harsh tropical environment. It is surprising just how much of the tank still remains after sitting in the jungle for 75 years. After taking in the stunning view from atop Bloody Nose Ridge, we head back to our boat, exhausted. It's been a sobering, touching field trip into World War II history in Peleliu.
Okay, well, we're just wrapping up our land tour today of Peleliu. And Michael, what was your most interesting thing today?
The most interesting thing I saw was I really liked the caves, the whole Japanese cave, like catacombs everywhere.
Yeah.
And I think the most interesting thing that I learned was that this little group of Japanese people stayed inside a cave for 2.5 years because they thought the war was still going, but it had ended.
Okay. Sarah, how about you? What was your highlight from today? Something.
Oh, it was a fascinating day. I think my highlight would be the Japanese headquarters and just the being able to walk through and see like their toilets and the where the radio was kept, and just the structure of it was really cool to walk through and see how it's been totally overtaken by the jungle.
Yeah.
Really neat.
E, how about you? Anything stand out? What you
I
learned?
like the Japanese headquarters a lot.
Okay.
Because, like, it just made you feel like you were there, and you could picture it in your head because you can see the bomb holes and stuff.
Yeah.
And what I really thought was interesting was on the stairs there was still the gripping, the silver gripping.
Okay.
For when you walk down the stairs.
Okay.
We had just, it was such a rich experience, I think. You feel like you could hear the sounds and feel the feelings of the people. You definitely could feel how hot it was. It was 115 degrees back then. Today it was probably 90 degrees, but we can't imagine what it must have been
At
like
115
for those
degrees.
guys. Yeah. So we are so thankful for the sacrifices that all the American soldiers made, and it's just a day full of learning
good day.
and like very hands-on experiential learning, which we had a good time.
It was a great day.
It was
Back
fun.
to field trip.